Now let's get to know how the image forms in the eye. First of all, the light which is falling at the object, after reflecting from the object, it transfers or it enters the eye through retina. Retina is the place where most of the refraction occurs. If somebody asks you from where does the light enters the eye, your answer should be cornea. Most of the refraction occurs at cornea. When the light enters cornea and travels towards the lens, it passes through the pupil. That is the hole between the iris, and for bright light, the aperture of the pupil constricts. That means the pupil becomes small, and for dim light, the pupil becomes bigger. So, pupil regulates the amount of light that is entering the eye. After the light passes through pupil, it is refracted by the eye lens. Now, unlike the normal lens, the eye lens is flexible, as you have been told before, and the ciliary muscles change the curvature of the lens. So, the lens can become thick or thin depending on the case, whether the object is near or far away. After that, the light gets focused on the retina. Final focusing by the lens. The light hits the crystalline lens, the ciliary muscles adjust the size of the lens and focus exactly on retina, where the sharp image is formed. So, if the object is very far, like we are looking at distant trees or clouds or even the stars in the sky, in that case, the eye lens is in its normal position. That is the position of a relaxed eye, or we can say the relaxed eye lens. The ciliary muscles are completely relaxed and the eye lens is in natural position. In that case, the objects are very far away, that is the object is at infinity and the image is focused directly on the retina. The lens is in the normal position. But if we are studying or looking at an object quite close, that is about 25 centimeters from the eye, and that 25 centimeters you will come across many times. That is the least distance of distinct vision. That means we can see clearly without any effort on the strain on the eye at an object which is placed at about 25 centimeters from the eye. Even if we put an object closer than that, you can still be seeing that, but that will be not very bright or sharp. It will be slightly blurred because there is a certain position beyond which the lens of the eye cannot be contracted. So, in that case, the image will not be very sharp. So, comfortably you can view an object that is placed at about 25 centimeters. That is the least distance of distinct vision. For that case, the ciliary muscles compress the lens and the lens becomes thicker. If the lens is thin, focal length increases, and if the lens is thick, the focal length decreases. This you must keep in mind. Now, what is that property of the eye from which we can see the distant objects and the nearby objects with the same clarity and with a single lens? That is the power of accommodation. What is the power of accommodation? The power of accommodation is defined as the ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length to clearly focus on both distance and nearby objects. This particular property of the eye lens is called the power of accommodation, and ciliary muscles and the lens both are responsible for it. The adjustment is achieved by ciliary muscles. If the ciliary muscles become tight, they will compress the lens from all the sides. The lens will become thick, and you will be able to see the objects nearby. And if the ciliary muscles are completely relaxed, the eye lens is thinner in its normal position. In that case, you will be able to see those objects which are quite far away or compared to the eye at infinity. For viewing distant objects like the stars or clouds or sky, the ciliary muscles relax. The lens shape, that means the lens becomes thin. The focal length of the lens is increased, and it allows you to see far away objects. For the nearby objects, the ciliary muscles compress, the lens becomes thicker, focal length decreases, and you are able to see the nearby objects. Nearby objects, ciliary muscles compress the eye lens, the lens becomes thicker, like here. You can see the lens is thinner, but here the lens is thicker. The focal length of the thick lens is less. So the image of this object which is placed at the nearby point is focused on the retina, and we are able to see it clearly. So here the near point, that is the least distance of distinct vision, that is nearly 25 centimeters. In some cases it can be 26, in some cases it may be 24, but overall average least distance of distinct vision is about 25 centimeters. The value is 25 centimeters for a normal adult eye. The ciliary muscles compress the eye, the focal length decreases, and you are able to see the object placed nearby very clearly. Ciliary muscles, in case of distant vision and near vision, lens shape, focal length, and image location. Image location will be same in every case, that is on the retina. When we are looking at a faraway object, the ciliary muscles are relaxed, and for a nearby object, the ciliary muscles contract. The lens shape, for a distance object, the lens is thinner, and for a nearby object, the lens is thicker. In case of a faraway object, the focal length of the lens is increased. For a nearby object, the focal length is decreased. Image formation, in both the cases, it is on the retina itself. Now, you must have seen people wearing specs, like I am wearing one. This is because some people suffer some defects in their eye. Some people are not able to see the nearby objects clearly. They are not able to read properly. Some people, they are not able to see the distant objects properly. So their far vision is defective, and if they are not able to read properly, then their near vision is defective. So generally, if the near vision is defective, the far vision is okay. And if the far vision is defective, then the near vision is alright. So in case when a person is not able to see nearby objects, but he is able to see far away objects, that defect is known as long-sightedness. Long-sighted means person is clearly seeing the distant objects. Long sight is okay, but short sight is defective. That is called long-sightedness, and the defect is hypermetropia. But if a person is not able to read properly, so a person is able to read properly but not able to see the distant objects properly, like he is not able to drive, but he can read properly. In that case, his near vision is okay, but his far vision is defective. That defect is called myopia. Myopia is also known as nearsightedness because the near vision is alright and the far vision is defective. What is the cause? Why is the far vision defective? The far vision is defective because the image of the faraway object is not forming on the retina. So we see a blurred image of a distant object. It is not very clear, not sharp. Why is it so? Because when for a normal eye, the image should form on the retina. Like in the normal vision, the image is forming on the retina itself. But in case of myopia, the image of the distant objects is formed slightly in front of retina, not exactly at the retina, but somewhere in front of it. That means the rays of the light that is coming from the object are slightly converged, and they are so much converged that they are instead of meeting at retina, they are meeting before retina. So images form slightly in front of retina, but the light cells will get activated when the light hits the retina. So the image which is being seen at the retina is blurred, not clear, not sharp. What is the correction? The light entering the eye, if we are able to diverge it slightly, then instead of being converging at a point in front of retina, they will converge at the retina itself, and we will be able to see the object clearly. So we will use a concave lens or a diverging lens as a correction, so that the convergence of the light rays is slightly increased and the image formation takes place at the retina itself. So we can see the object clearly using this concave lens. What are the causes? First cause is the lens, that is, in the normal eye, it gets thin, relaxed, completely relaxed, and in its natural position. But when a person is suffering from myopia or nearsightedness, the light coming from the distant objects, for those, the lens is not very thin. The lens has become slightly stiff, or it has lost its flexibility to some extent. That means it is not able to reach its normal relaxed position. In that case, the curvature of the lens does not become great, does not become more. So the rays are over converged and forming an image before they are supposed to be. Another explanation is that due to some injury or some accident or some other cause, the length of the eyeball has increased. The eyeball is elongated. The retina has gone beyond a couple of millimeters beyond. In that case also, the image will not be formed on the retina. It will be formed where the retina was originally there. In that case also, we will have to diverge the rays so that they meet slightly behind their normal position. Therefore, either the curvature of the eye lens is excessive, or the length of the eyeball is longer than the normal. Both are the causes of myopia defect, and the correction for myopia defect is use of a concave lens of suitable power. I think that would be clear. Hypermetropia or farsightedness. In case of farsightedness, the situation is reversed. Now, a person is able to see the far objects clearly but not able to read properly, because in that case, the lens which has become slightly stiff is not able to compress itself, or the ciliary muscles are not able to compress the lens to that position where it will form an image on the retina. So the result is the image is formed behind the retina. Again, the image will be blurred. What should be the correction? The correction should be that the normal eye lens is not able to converge the rays properly. So if we use a converging lens in addition with this eye lens, then the total effect of these two lenses will converge the rays and the image will be formed at the retina and we will be able to see clearly. What are the causes? The causes are again the reverse as myopia. One cause is that the focal length of the eye lens is more. That is, the curvature of eye lens is less, so that it is not able to converge the rays properly. Second, the eyeball has shortened due to some reason. The radius of the eyeball has decreased. Even if it is decreases by 1 or 2 millimeters, we will suffer from this defect. So the two causes are the excess less curvature of eye lens and the shortening of eyeball. And the correction is using a convex lens of suitable power. So we will be able to read properly. Coming to another defect, presbyopia. Presbyopia is actually known as old age hypermetropia. As we grow older, the strength of the ciliary muscles of our eyes or the flexibility of the eye lens both decrease. So our near point goes on receding away and away and away. From normal position of 25 centimeters, our near point may go to 40 centimeters, 50 centimeters, or even 80 centimeters due to gradual stiffening of the eye lens or gradual weakening of the ciliary muscles. Now you may ask a question that what is the difference now between presbyopia and hypermetropia? In hypermetropia, there is a particular point at which the near point has receded. It is not going to recede away from that in the coming time. But in this case, the recession of the near point goes on increasing with time. That's why it is known as old age hypermetropia. In that case, you must have seen your grandpa, granny, that they are going for their eye checkups and they are changing their spectacles quite often, about 1 time a year or 2 times a year. Why? Because their ciliary muscles are gradually weakened and their eye lens is gradually stiffening. It's losing its flexibility slowly. In that case, due to the passage of time, their near point recedes away gradually. That means every now and then they will have their eyes checked up and their lenses replaced. Normal vision, hyperopia or hypermetropia, the focal point, the image, the point where the image is formed is slightly behind retina. But in case of presbyopia, it goes on increasing behind. So we have to keep changing the power of the corrective lens so that the image is formed at the retina itself. Sometimes when the crystalline lens has lost its flexibility, so beyond a certain point it cannot get thin, and beyond a certain point it cannot be compressed. In that case, a person may suffer from both the defects simultaneously. That is, his distant vision is also affected and his near vision is also affected. Like a person is able to see only between on an object which is kept 1 meter and 2 meter. Beyond 2 meters, he is not able to see clearly, and beyond 1 meter, he is not able to see clearly. If an object is placed at 50 centimeters, image is blurred. If an object is kept beyond 2 meters, the image is blurred. In that case, we say that the person is suffering from hypermetropia and myopia simultaneously. So, he will need a corrective lens which contain both the lenses. That means we will have to use a bifocal lens in which the below portion is convex and the upper portion is concave. For distant vision, the upper portion will be used, and for the reading or seeing at the object clearly, nearby objects clearly, the lower portion of the lens is convex. Or we can use progressive lenses, which are trending nowadays. Condition, symptom, correction. For myopia or nearsightedness, symptoms are blurry vision, eye strain, even headaches. Correction, concave lens, myopia control glasses, contact lenses, and even laser refractive surgery, which is known as LASIK laser surgery. Hypermetropia, again blurry vision, eye strain and headache. In that case, a convex lens of suitable power, contact lens or refractive surgery. Presbyopia, difficulty focusing on close by objects, again blurry vision. Reading glasses or bifocal lens. If hypermetropia and myopia are both occurring at the same time, then bifocal lenses will be used. Otherwise, only reading glasses will be used. Now, there are other defects also apart from these three. These three are the main defects, but other defects are also there which are less frequent, like a cataract. A cataract is a defect in which the eye lens, instead of being transparent, it starts to become slightly milky from the edges towards the inside. First the outer edges become milky, then the middle one, and then the finally inner edges are becoming milky. So at the end, the eye lens will be not transparent but translucent. Suppose I paint my specs with white paint. Will I be able to see? No. Will I be able to perceive light? Yes. We will know that it is light or dark outside around us, but we will not be able to see clearly who's in front of us. That's what we call the cataract. And it can only be corrected through cataract surgery. That means the eye is being operated upon, the milky lens is removed, and a synthetic lens, just like a eye lens, is replaced in its place, so that the vision is restored. The milky lens is replaced by a clear lens. Another defect is astigmatism. Astigmatism is a defect when a person cannot focus on horizontal lines and vertical lines. That means when a person is looking at an object like a graph in which horizontal and vertical lines are there, he can either perceive horizontal lines or vertical lines, but he cannot focus on both at the same time. This is because the curvature of the eye lens has become irregular. Instead of a single image, 2 or 3 images are forming. So it confuses the person whether which image to focus upon. If he focuses on one object, the other one gets blurred. So he cannot see either vertical lines or the horizontal lines. And corrected by using a special kind of lens, that is a cylindrical lens. This cylindrical lens is so formed that it reinforces the formation of image by this shape, this lens which has an irregular shape. That will be all for the part 1 of Human Eye and Colorful World. Rest will be taken up in part 2. Thank you.